Hi everyone. My name is Contessa Lattimore Cain. I'm a homeschool mom, a children's book author, and a stay-at-home mom. So I homeschool four girls, and grade levels, grade 1 through 4. So I have one in each class, one in each grade level, and we homeschool all together. And I'm gonna go over how we do it. What are some of my top? I think I have 6 points that are my top reasons, or I would say key points of homeschooling multiple children on different grade levels. So a little bit about me. I am a retired a children's mental health supervisor. I've been a children's mental health therapist, as well as a children's mental health support specialist or care coordinator for case management. I did that for several years, and while I was doing that, I really started to hone in on I need to be at home with my children. I need to be at home with my baby, and we have one daughter, and I homeschool 3 of my nieces, so that gives us our total of 4. And I was just really climbing the career ladder. I had been in transitional, a program for young adults that teaches them life skills, and seeing all of the gaps and things in their education and in just life skills that they didn't know, and working with the children in mental health and working with the different public schools and seeing all the issues and how it's not always about the kids, and the child's education is not always the priority in public school. And that really hit home for me. And I've always had a love for education and a love for homeschooling. And I just always had this fear that if I do that, I'm going to mess my kids up. I don't have time for it. And, it's going to just be me, and I'm going to be by myself, and it's just going to be me and her. And, she's not going to want to look at me all day and all night. And, we're doing school together, and then she got to still come right back in there with me too. So, it was just a lot. I was so scared. I was just doubting myself that I couldn't do it. Now, I am a jack of all trades. I can do anything that I set my mind to. Literally, our classroom that we have now is a converted 10 storage shed that we ordered, paid for it, and I did all of the interior work myself. I laid the flooring, did the vinyl flooring with little assistance from my husband because he was working and I was at home, and I was like, I got to do this. Putting the sheetrock up, getting help from my brother, painting, and just wiring. I did the wiring. So I don't know why I doubted myself so bad with homeschooling, but it was just the point of, I'm gonna mess my child up. Her education, she's not gonna learn. And that is by far so far from the truth, you guys. We are our children's first teachers. They learn everything from us. They're always watching. They're always absorbing things that we do that we don't think that they see us doing. They learn everything from us. So we are always the foundational teacher of our kids. And after I came to that realization, I said, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm going to homeschool my child. And we did a trial run. I didn't want to pull her officially out of school yet. So we did a trial run to where we just homeschooled over the summer. So we started in May, and we ended up stopping mid-August. I hadn't enrolled her in public school yet. And we did it that summer, fell even harder in love with it. We have a trucking company, and we were able to homeschool on the road. We were able to go over the road with my husband and still get our work done and still have our free time. So it took us a while to find our balance. That was in 2019 when we first started, and my daughter begged to go back to school, and I put her back in, and not even 2 months after I put her back in, she was ready to get back out, and she was begging to be homeschooled because she, at that point, she had experienced homeschooling versus public school, and she liked the homeschool environment better. So we agreed that, you know, we would pull her out, and that was going to be our final decision, that we wasn't going to go back and forth. We were going to pull her out, and that was going to be it. And everyone agreed. We let her went to school for the remainder of that first semester, and came Christmas break, that was her last time in public school. So January came, and my nieces and my sister-in-law, I was telling them, hey, I'm homeschooling, you know, our daughter, and, you know, these are some of the reasons why, and this is some of the experience, because I didn't have a supporting experience from my district. I would try to implement different things that I felt was beneficial to the children, such as getting them iPads through the school, and I always ended up getting an excuse for why that wouldn't, why they couldn't do it. When in actuality, Apple was paying for all of that to be put into the school. They would provide the iPads and for every student, and it was a really great opportunity, I felt, for the students to have up-to-date technology. They weren't getting, every student didn't have a textbook, and it was just very deficient. And I was even to the point where her first grade year, I actually purchased the textbook online so that me and her could work more one-on-one at home from the textbook that they had at the school. And I just felt like if I'm going to do all of this, if I'm going to go this far beyond, I need to full on take this on 100%, because I felt like I could do it. I had gained my confidence, and I said, we're going to do it. And we did. So I'm going to jump right into my points here. So my first point is, number one is being patient. So especially if you're just starting out, get your feet wet. Start on, you know, do a couple of hours, because it really doesn't take that long to homeschool each individual child. And we may spend 45 minutes on language arts and the same amount of time on math. If it has a concept that she needs a little bit more attention on, then hey, we'll go a little deeper. We'll go a little extra over. Or we take our break and we do homework, which is after they've had their school day, they've had their lunch, they've had their recess, they've had their free time, and it's the evening, and you know, it's like, hey, come on, let's work on that thing that we talked about earlier today that you kind of struggle with. And at that point, you don't get any resistance because they've already had their break. They've had time to just relax and be free of schoolwork, and they're more adamant to come back with a fresh mind. So you kind of take a break from it instead of just steady drilling it, because that causes stress as well. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit further down. So many of the concepts, still on that same point. So public school has 180 days, right, to teach 25 to 30 kids per class every concept that they're going to learn in that grade level for, you know, 180 days. You, in that same 25 to 30 student classroom, you have every type of learning style student there is. And in homeschool, you can meet them where they are. You can do that one-on-one because it's you and them. You don't have that many distractions. Separating, you know, your school space from your home space is a great technique as well. You don't have a clock on you. You're not rushing. You're not rushing for a test like they would in public school. So it's a lot, you know, easier. And from public school to homeschooling, you just have to be patient with your child and with yourself. Give yourself time to adjust, because it is a change. It is a new environment when you've come from not having to do 100% of the work with your child. Or even if you have been, you may already be ready. So, of course, still being patient with your child. You're their first teacher, like I told you before. They're always learning from you, and you're learning your child's clues about how they process information, clues about when they're stressed or when their emotions are getting the best of them, or even when they're working themselves up. So that leads into my point number 2. So it says take time to learn your child's cues. Of course, as being their first teacher, like I said, a lot of those you already know, you just haven't seen them in the light of being their teacher. You've seen them in the light of being their parent, but in the light of being their teacher, you may get different cues. I have one niece that she is, her cue was smiling. When she did not know the answer to a question or she didn't understand what I was saying, she would just, cheese. And she would laugh, and I'm being so serious, and I'm like, I want to laugh. What's funny? And it took me weeks before my light bulb came on that she doesn't understand what I'm saying. She doesn't understand. Not that she doesn't understand what I'm saying. She doesn't understand what I'm trying to teach her. She doesn't understand it. So, you know, when I asked her directly, do you understand what I'm trying to teach you? Do you understand how to do it? She would say no. And I'm like, why you didn't tell me that? We've been cramming this stuff and you didn't understand it to begin with. So we had to start our way over. So, which wasn't a problem. It's just when you learn your child's cues, you will know, hey, okay, let's start over. Let's go. And you don't have to waste time with you stressing or them stressing, because at the end of the day, they develop, they have stress on them as well. Some kids, school is stressful, and it's because they do not understand what they're being taught. So just really, this also helps with alleviating the stress in your homeschool as well, because you stop that internal buildup in your child. You get it, you put you like, hey, hold on, wait a minute, let's go back, let's start again. So again, number 2 was taking time to learn your child's cues. Number 1 was being patient, especially if you're just starting out. Number 3, your motivation for your homeschool. Make sure you know your motivation. I cannot express that enough, because a lot of times you will start homeschooling because you're like, you know what, forget this, I don't want to do this, I want all my children at home with me. But if that's your only motivation, you're not going to get very far, honestly. Our motivation for homeschooling was, number 1, we wanted to be at home with our children. We wanted to spend as much time with them. We wanted to make sure that they were wholeheartedly educated. A lot of school districts don't have those old school caring teachers like some of us may have had when we were growing up. And we were in a failing district to begin with. We didn't have adequate textbooks. We didn't have adequate activities for the children. There was nothing for them to look forward to. So it was really hard for them to get engaged and to stay engaged in the school when there's nothing for them there. You know, of course there's an education there, but how much education can you squeeze in 180 days when you have 30 children that are looking up to you for their education, and you have 15 of them that are behind, and you have 5 more over here that are being disruptive because they don't understand, and this is the only way that they know how to process. So even in your homeschool, you still have, especially with multiple kids, that's why it's so important to learn your children's cues. I have one that after about 2 hours, my first grader, after about 2 to 3 hours, she is checked out. It doesn't matter if we're still doing instruction. It doesn't matter anything. She's going to sleep. And so with her, I know that she's going to check out on me soon. I need to start with her first. Let me start with her first. Let me get everybody else ball rolling. They'll start out with their personal reading, or they'll start out with an activity, doing a puzzle, some kind of busy work that's related to what they're doing in their main curriculum. And while I work with her, and get her on out of the way so that she can go down for her nap. Yes, she still takes her nap. And you just have to always remember your motivation for homeschooling. It is so important when you're in doubt or when you're being, questioned. People tend to always want to question you about your children's education, about their grade level. And when you're homeschooling, another good thing is you're not so much focused on a grade level, you're focused on a skill level. We focus on skills, not so much on the grade level, but on the skills that they know, because the skills are what you're building on. So in kindergarten, preschool, you're supposed to be introduced to every concept that you're ever going to learn. And every year after that, you're supposed to build on it. And that wasn't happening in our public school. And I felt passionate about that, because that builds confidence in your students, because they know, oh, we talked about that last year. That's A, B, C, D, E. And okay, well, since you all already know that, we're going to go a little bit deeper this year. And then the year after that, we're going to go a little bit deeper. And so on and so forth until you are done. And they know the full concept and in depth. That concept can be broken down in so many different ways. And always, of course, back to always having your motivation and knowing why you are homeschooling. And being able to debunk the questions. Because it never fails. If you say that you're homeschooling, people are going to ask you why. And you're like, you can't tell me any reasons why you want to homeschool in modern day. And that also leads me into number 4, which is don't feel pressured out of homeschooling. Don't feel pressured to go back to public schooling. It's okay for you to have doubt, but if you have the right motivation and you know why you are seeking out homeschooling, why you are doing this, then you're more than likely to continue and to actually enjoy it and to actually be able to debunk all of the people that are going to doubt you, or that I've had family members that told me, you're going to do that all throughout their life. You're going to do that until they graduate. Yes. I'm not going to start educating them and then allow them to go back into public school and be taught something completely different than what they've learned. They've learned it this way. This is the way that, it's going to appear to them in life. And this is the best way for them to know it. Number 5 is pretty short. Of course, we do a lot of scheduling. I am a scheduleaholic. And I schedule everything. I schedule our class time. I schedule our individual time. I schedule individual time for each child. I schedule our trips. We schedule our family vacations. So just finding a schedule that works for you and your family. Schedule breaks, schedule field trips, get creative with it. Involve the kids in scheduling. They wanted a fun day. So they get to pick a day each month that's their fun day, and they get to do whatever they want to do on their fun day. And number 6, my last one, is support. Okay, so support. I draft in family for support. I draft friends in for support. With COVID, we have only been in our circle, because of course we have to make sure that we're protected as well as the children are protected. And I draft in my mom. She comes in sometimes and she does read aloud. She does our lunches for us sometimes. My husband, he comes into the classroom and he does math with our daughter, as well as sometimes he takes over math in the evening time for the whole group. As he also does PE. So my sister-in-law, she always accompanies me on field trips. She does also decorate and does some of our activities for like holidays. So that takes a lot off of me, and I'm able to mainly focus on the educational aspect. I'm able to send homework home because I'm having the support from them. My husband does homework in the evening times, and that gives me my break as well. So even if you are a single parent, you can still do it and schedule your individual time. Everybody is not good with schedules, but it is a very important skill to have. And I just think everybody should be able, or at least have a rough schedule. It's not so much as this is what we're going to do every day. This time we're doing this. Oh, it's time. We got to change. We got to change. No, it's not that kind of schedule. It is a loose schedule. Some days we come in, boom, 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 boom. Oh, it ain't even snack time yet. Y'all, we done finished everything that's on our list. School's out. And we are able to have that extra free time because we finished everything. So I just kind of list everything out of what I want them to complete every day. Their homework sheets, their math, one lesson of math, one lesson of language arts, 20 minutes of reading. And they get to have their own little activities. So sometimes that math can take an hour, sometimes it can take 20 minutes. So it just depends on the math lesson and the concept that they're working on. And we're done. So I really do hope that my points help someone out here with the idea of homeschooling multiple children in multiple grade levels. We do combine our math. Our first, second, and third graders are all doing math level 2 of the curriculum that we work in, and our fourth grader is doing math level 4 for that same curriculum, and it also has videos with it as well. So researching the different curriculums and seeing which one fits which child. Luckily, all of our kids have the same curriculum, so we didn't have to kind of pick and choose, oh, this one works for her, this one works for her. It worked for everybody. So of course I wanted to spotlight our book. We do have a book called A Quilt for Junior. It is on pre-order, and I will insert the link below, as well as a photo of our book here. Thank you so much, and I hope that my information has been helpful to someone out here. And take that leap. It's okay. Take that leap. Try it on a weekend. Try it over a break from public school, whether that be Christmas break. Try it and just see if it's a good fit for you. Thank you.